Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, we
Oh
would have
yeah.
seen the Sun Bowl against Washington State. Now Central Michigan is heading that way. Their game against Boise State has been canceled. Their bowl game, which I can't remember the names of all these obscure bowl games, but whichever bowl game they were supposed to play in Arizona against Boise State opted out. So now Central Michigan's been diverted from their bowl game to take on Washington State. So their game plans are, of course, changing as we speak. But for Miami, there's a football game of interest coming up in a couple days between Oklahoma and Oregon for no other reason necessarily than the Oregon ties with Mario Cristobal and them getting their responsibilities out of the way and completed before we possibly could see some more uh, transfers of sorts, not necessarily players, talking about coaching staff coming from Oregon.
Yes. So starting out with, of course, you have Alex Mirabal, best friend to Coach Mario Cristobal. Alex Mirabal is 5'5", and he played center at Columbus High School. Okay, and he's really skinny now. I don't know if he's always been like that, but he is an offensive line coach, assistant head coach. He's the right hand man to Coach Cristobal, and they work together on that offensive line, and they help it work together as a unit. So excited to see him come. And man, I've been watching a whole bunch of his film, and I think he has a great viewpoint on offensive line, Mark. Because one thing about it is when you have the size and you have that ability, you got to be able to teach them that technique, and you got to have educators. Someone that can be able to just not only convey that message, because it does nothing for me to have all the knowledge. I have to be able to have the young men know what they need to do and execute that. And to hear those kind of things coming from these coaches is stuff that we haven't heard from our coaches in years past. So I'm just excited to see the different quality of program we're going to see under them, especially on the offensive line. Defensive line, Coach Salavea, Polynesian brethren, former Arizona All-American, former Redskin or Washington football team member, former Baltimore Raven, now going to the coaching ranks, been on the defensive line. He started off as one of the best defensive line coaches in the country. He's a massive man himself. All right, so he has a connection to a whole bunch of our Canes, played with Sean Taylor and Shantana Moss and Clinton Portis and Ed Reed and Ray Lewis. So he has a love for that U, and we're excited to see what he can bring to the table. Been checking up on him, and, for a lot of people, man, once you guys find their names up, you can YouTube them, and there's all these links and mic'd up and things that you can go and watch and basically listen to what you're gonna get. Now it's a younger version of them, an older video, and they're growing over time. So we're excited about, for me, Mark, the fronts is where it starts. And for those two signees, those two people to agree to be Miami Hurricanes coaches, it's very important to me because we need to beef up and we need to change the fronts if we want to ever be in the conversation again as a top five program. I understand having the speedy wide receivers, having the good cornerbacks, having a solid running back, having a good free and strong safety. But if your front seven is not up to par, when you line up with someone who's is, it doesn't work out well for you for the most part. Also, you got Coach Mcclendon, the wide receivers coach and passing game coordinator, who is the head coach right now for Oregon. Okay, so all three of them will be coming over from Oregon. And again, Coach Cristobal is built 100% on respect. He wants them to be able to finish their priorities with Oregon, and then once that's done, then come on down and be a part of the family here at Miami. But make sure that we finish what we start. And so those are the three coaches that we'll be taking on as far as on the field football coaches that will be taken from Oregon. The fourth coach from Oregon is Aaron Field, strength and conditioning coach. He's also thought of as one of the best strength and conditioning coaches. Now, he is the head strength and conditioning coach. He has 7 other people, Mark, 7 other people that work with him. 2 of them are from nutrition. 2 of them are track coaches that work with him. And the other 3, including him, are strength staff. And that among anything is probably number one. Besides the head coach, your strength and conditioning and nutrition program is 1B. And if that isn't up to snuff, if that is not up to par, it's not going to get you anywhere. You won't be able to hang. Okay, if you don't have the NFL caliber bodies, because some people hate when I say SEC bodies, so I'll say NFL bodies. If you don't have the right body fat percentages, if you're not able to pull that kind of intensity out of your players, because they have something that's unique, Mark. They have something that's called the 4-quarter strength and conditioning program. So they split each semester into two separate 8-week increments, and that's where you get your breakdowns on. So, for example, sometimes you get, because 16 weeks is a full semester, so you split them in half, 8, 8. And when you have the 8, at the end of that first one, the first quarter, just is similar to 4 quarters in a football game. So at the end of that, you're going to do your 40-yard dash test. You're going to do your max on your bench, your max on your squat, and that's how they go about measuring you through all the way through the off season going into your full season. So I'm pretty excited to see. It's really unique. I had to look it up. It's something I never heard of, but it was really nice to see. And heck, if we start having our players look and play similar to the way what was going on at Oregon, I think we'll be just fine in the ACC.
I was smirking because I was looking for comments while you were running down the Oregon coaches that look like they're headed to Miami. I was running through the comments that have been made to the various videos that we produced here over the past week, and one particular gentleman. I want to get his name on here for the record. It's funny how critical people can be. So Ryan Bauer. So Ryan is so I don't know if it was you or if it was Cam, and it really doesn't matter because we were going through Mario Cristobal's national championships. We were working through the years he was at Miami.
Yeah, that was me and you. That was last week, Tuesday.
And then we were counting through the national championships, and it just took us a second to be like, okay, 87. We were just counting the national championships. So this knucklehead writes, if you can't name the 5 years we won rings, you lose any and all credibility to talk about Canes football. That is downright embarrassing. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So
you're right. I messed up on that one. Honestly, I was tough on myself with that
one. No. So if anybody wants to try talking about a particular team or all of college football all the time, every day, and talk about it constantly, if you want to take that on and you want to be held to the standard of always knowing every answer at the drop of a hat to perfection all the time, then you take on that challenge and you can go ahead and try it. Because there's nobody online, there's nobody on television that knows everything. And even if you know everything or know that particular topic, you may misspeak. I don't know how many times I'll say somebody's name wrong, and I know exactly who I'm talking about. I've watched them play 50 times. I just said their name wrong. I inserted a Mike for a Mark or whatever. I just said it incorrectly that one time. And that doesn't mean I don't know who I'm talking about because we all do it. So my response was, I know more about Miami football history than 99% of the people you'll find online or watch on TV. Please go watch them. So, all right. So anyway.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I will say I definitely thought about that afterward. I was like, God, I kind of dropped the ball on that one, but it happens. We have so much that goes on. We have so much in our minds, and when stuff just gets thrown at you, you got to just keep going. And hey, we fumbled it on that one, and it still doesn't explain the fact that people were counting his national championships as a coach. And it threw me off completely when they added the 2015 Alabama, and I was like, "What is that?" Okay, it threw me off a little bit, but we're all good, man. We're good.